the preparation for these games have, in addition to the COVID situation, has been quite traumatic. I'd say, early on we had the resignation of the former Japanese Prime Minister for comments that he'd made about women in particular. We've had some rather problematic statements made by a number of different people leading up to the resignation, or dismissal rather, today, of that creative director. So it's certainly a scandal-ridden preparation, that's for sure.
And what's the atmosphere like in Tokyo ahead of the ceremony? Is there a sense that officials can really pull this off amid the pandemic?
Look, I think they're doing everything they possibly can. The president of the IOC met with, or had an audience with, the emperor this afternoon, and the news programs are showing that as part of that conversation, the emperor called on the IOC president to continue with all of the efforts to protect not only the athletes but the Japanese people. I think people would be quite concerned today generally, because we've just had word that the numbers of COVID cases for Tokyo, at least, is at 1,979. And it had been tipped that we would hit 2,000 sometime in the beginning of the first week. But it's happened today. So I'm sure there are some very, very worried people there, and rightly so.
And how many athletes have tested positive prior to or since arriving at the village?
I'm not sure, because they're released at different times during the day, but I did see an account that said that there were 80 or so. Many of the athletes are outside of the village. Some of the volunteers have presented with positive cases. So it's not necessarily always the athletes, but there are a number of extremely sad stories where you hear of a person who's obviously worked very hard and has found that they're COVID positive just before the games start tomorrow.
And adding to the concern, I guess, would be movement on the streets. Is it visibly busier because of the games?
No, I mean, sadly, I think there's great indifference towards the games now. I think people just, want for it to hurry up and become September, when not only has summer finished, because it's intensely hot at the moment, but also the Olympic Games is behind us. People are obviously, though, having said that, probably very excited to see their own country athletes, and there are some great stories of incredible efforts that those athletes have made. But, I was out earlier today, and you couldn't tell. The Tokyo that we thought we were going to be part of just simply isn't. There's a lot of security. Hardly anybody seems to be excited about anything, and it's pretty sad.
It really is such a shame. But for those who will be watching from home, which Japanese athletes will they be looking out for?
Well, there are some traditional sports that the Japanese do really well at and are fantastic, and I'm hoping they do well in it, including judo and, of course, table tennis, etc. But, there have been some fantastic stories of athletes in swimming, in athletics, of course, tennis with Naomi Osaka. We've got Matsuyama in golf, and a range of different team sports too. So I'm sure that Japan, will be right behind the athletes, as they have been behind a number of different athletes too. It's been really special, I guess, to see the support that everybody has for the athletes. It's just sad that nobody can go and see any of the events.
Meanwhile, over here, there was a lot of excitement with Australia winning the rights to host the 2032 Games. Was there any reaction to the news over there?
Oh, look, I think there's so much more coverage about what's going on here. COVID, of course, is the primary concern. The Japanese Prime Minister issued a statement where he congratulated Brisbane, and of course we all do. But I think Japan remembers the day we were awarded the Games, or rather Tokyo was awarded the Games. And that was way back in, I think, 2013. And some 25 billion plus US dollars later, I didn't get the sense that, a lot of people were saying to me last night, wow, why are they excited about this? But that might be the sound of people who are really just exhausted. overwhelmed and terribly worried about how hosting such a large-scale event for so many weeks in a city that's got a lot of COVID is going to pan out.
Totally understandable. Melanie Brock in Tokyo, thank you.
Thank you.